All right, welcome back to the Central Valley Buzz, everybody. I'm your host, Chuck Leonard. I want to say Merry Christmas to you guys again, and thanks for tuning in all year long. Sitting here with me is Michael Bogart from 21st Century Faith. How's it going, bud?
Good to see you.
I couldn't think of anyone better to have on Christmas Day. We have some questions here about Christmas, about Jesus, about some of the happenings. Right. So let's just jump right into that, okay?
Sure.
First off, did Mary really ride a donkey?
Well, the Bible actually doesn't say how she got to Bethlehem.
How did we get the donkey story? Did it just fit in?
I think somebody decided to, create a creche or, a manger scene, and they just figured donkey was probably the mode of transportation, and that's how it got to be part of our story.
Probably a pretty popular mode of transportation back in the time. So. Okay, all right.
And you've got a woman who's pretty far advanced in her pregnancy, and she's probably wanting to ride rather than walk.
Because they were coming from where?
From Nazareth.
Which is how far?
Nazareth would be about 75 miles north.
That's a long way on the back of a donkey, pregnant or not.
No cars, no trains, no planes. It's all by foot or somehow.
Now, she arrives in Bethlehem, right?
Right.
But did she arrive there the night on Christmas Eve?
And of course, our story is that, she's giving birth, she's going into labor, they're knocking on doors to try to find a place to stay. The Bible doesn't really specify that. It just says she arrived in Bethlehem, and there wasn't any room for her.
No vacancies?
No vacancies, right. That's right. But they eventually found some place where they kept animals. We don't even know if it was a stable. We just know that it was a place where there was a manger, which would have been a place where they had animals.
Wait a minute now. We have what the Bible says, but then we have what everybody thinks it says. Right. Has this been manipulated by television specials?
Well, you're in television, so you know that the picture is everything. How do you put the whole story into one picture? That's the manger scene. So I think somebody's trying to just condense it down into one memorable kind of snapshot, and that's how you get the donkey and the stable and all of that stuff.
And the lawn figurines. Right?
Exactly right.
Now, they call it a manger, but I think I'd call it a barn. But was Jesus born in a barn?
He was born in a place where animals took shelter. In fact, I don't know if have you ever been to the Holy Land at all?
No, I haven't, but my mom used to yell at me a lot. Shut the door! What, were you born in a barn?
Well, so you have some feeling for it, I guess. The Church of the Nativity is actually built over what they think really is the site where Jesus was actually born. And it seems to have been a cavern where animals would have taken shelter, and there would have been a feeding trough in there, which is what a manger is.
Like a cave?
A cave, yes.
So born in a cave, dies in a cave.
Or buried in a cave,
wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
okay.
Interesting. You should be a theologian. You see the parallels in all of this.
Well, I'm just trying to just stay up with you here, Mike. Now here's another question. Was there really three kings?
Well, and again, the Bible only specifies not kings, but magi or wise men, people that were either philosophers or astronomers. They came from the east, probably Persia, which is now Iran. And it doesn't say the number. It just says that kings or that magi came and that they brought three gifts. So we think three gifts. There must have been three kings. Bible doesn't say that, just says there was more than one wise man.
Okay, here's a big one, and I hear people talking about this a lot, not so much during the Christmas season, but more year-round. Was Jesus really born on Christmas?
And again, there's no specification in the Bible as to the date.
But there's some things that say about the weather, though, right?
Well, it says that at that time, the shepherds were out in the fields at night. And according to what we know about customs of shepherds at the time, that probably was not December. That was probably more spring through fall. So the traditional thinking, as best as people can work it out, is that probably late fall would have been the time when Jesus was born. So end of September, early October.
I've heard people say spring, though.
And it could have been. We don't know for sure. But here's the thing, that Michaelmas, which is not something we Americans celebrate, but it's usually done in England, Michaelmas is in the end of September. And that seems to grow out of the tradition that Michael the archangel was the leader of the angelic host that spoke to the shepherds. And that's always in late September. If that was the time of Jesus' birth, late September, you work your way back 9 months to the conception, it would have been in late December.
Well, I was born in September.
Right, well, so then you go back 9 months, the conception's in late December. What do we celebrate at Christmas? It's not so much the birth, it's the incarnation. The incarnation took place at the conception. So it may be that the church kind of got it right, that the time when the Son of God enfleshed himself in Mary's womb really was in late December. Don't know for sure, but it's an interesting possibility.
It certainly is. Christmas celebrated all around the world. Christians everywhere.
That's right.
Okay, and so I want to take this time. You've been with me all year long, and I really appreciate you coming on. Have a lot of viewers that say that they appreciate you coming on. I want to say Merry Christmas to you,
Merry
Mike.
Christmas, Chuck.
Okay.
God bless you in the coming year.
All right. You're taking off for the end of the year. You won't be here, but you do have a special prayer that you're going to be doing for everybody for New Year's Eve, and I want to thank you for that, too.
Be glad
Happy
to do
New
it.
Year's to you also,
Happy
friend.
New Year's to you. Have
Okay.
a great year.
We're going to take off, you guys. Have a Merry Christmas. We'll see you next week.
Merry Christmas.